Sawyer with stories inside the man cave, coming to you from Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium for the 2023 Orange and White game. Half the team is burnt orange, the other half is white. The guys are suited up and ready.
How about that? Here she is, the new aspiring reporter, the Tess Sawyer. Is that the beginning of your reel that you may or may not be sending out for sideline reporting? Is that the next gig in your career?
It's the intro for my Grindr profile.
Grindr. Is that for females too?
It is now.
Is it? Oh, it is now. Because Tess Sawyer said it, that is exactly what happened. You were clearly at the spring game. That's what this first segment's all about. Tess, Tuesdays with Tess. And before we dive deeper, we've got to give a shout out to the logo here, Honest AC and Plumbing, where a handshake still means something. Get those ACs maintenance by our guys. They're fine Americans, and they are veteran-owned, by the way. Hey, spring game. Tess, sum it up in as few words as you can, what you saw. I'm not a big fan of the spring game at any level because you really don't know. But was there anything different? Because I've heard stories of some positives, but I've heard them all. But I want to hear what you think or thought.
Well, I thought it was really cool because they kind of outfitted the whole area, Bevo Boulevard, outside of the stadium like it was a regular game.
Right.
So with all of, the live broadcasting, the games for the kiddos, you could get your beers. It kind of felt they had Longhorn city limits, live music. And I mean, it really felt kind of close to a real game, besides from all the tailgating and a couple of other things, but they really made it feel that way. I don't remember them doing that in the past. So that was really fun. The crowd was amazing. I mean, as it should be, it was free, but I mean, I was shocked at how many people came out for the game. The stadium was hot as balls. It felt like the Alabama game all over again. It was super warm in there. But it just felt good to be in the stadium. I thought it was cool that, they had the cheerleaders out there, the band out there, the whole kit and caboodle. So again, it just really felt, in all the concessions, you could just buy snacks and drinks just like it was a regular game. And then each quarterback took at least a snap, if not more. So, you don't usually get to see that in a real game, so you got to see, obviously Quinn, Archie, and Malik all take a snap and throw the ball, and some more successful than others, but all of them had good, I felt like some of them threw to receivers, some of them tossed to running backs. People were saying Archie was a little bit more mobile than some of the other Mannings. So I don't know. It was just really cool. I enjoyed it. But yeah, it's kind of like a soft game because nobody wants to get hurt during the orange and white game.
So I have to ask, by any chance, because all these spring games they're going to, coaches are smart. And this is live TV. They're not going to show anything. It's very vanilla. Everyone's going to play almost always. But did you by any chance see the Manning family tree being Archie, Peyton, Eli, Cooper, and of course, Arch? Which of those did you see? Did you see Arch?
I just saw Arch. I didn't see anybody else. I was kind of down on the field, and then, I dragged my very sweaty ass into the UT club for the second half of the game because I wasn't willing to boil to death for a scrimmage. But if there was any other game, I would have done it. So
you are a trooper. I commend you and everybody that went. I heard it was a great time outside. Good marketing for potential season ticket holders always.
Oh yeah.
As far as the spring game, I really was fascinated or really blown away by what Sark said afterwards. And I think he's no nonsense, no bullshit. I think this is legit what he had to say about the depth of the team currently.
If so-and-so goes down a position, which we never want him to, the next guy going in, we all feel very comfortable with. And I think that part for me was the thing that I got out of spring ball, is that we have depth on this team now to where we have a very solid 2 deep, and at some positions 3 deep where we're very comfortable.
Did you feel? I mean, I know it's hard to see it because they're not calling a game as they would a spring game as they would a regular season game. But did you get the feel? I don't know how many of these you've been to or fall scrimmages, but did you kind of get the feel that it was different? The talent level, the size, the ability was much different than it has in recent years?
Yes. I for multiple positions. I mean, quarterback just being one of them. Because the rotation of who they were playing in each position on each side. So everybody was getting to play and everybody was just kind of equally as good. So it just kind of, I guess, sums up the fact that come game day, those are going to be hard decisions to make.
Yeah.
Who you start and then, do you pull them and do you put somebody else in? Because the competition is fierce right now. So, and of course there's the fear of you might lose some of those people to portal because they're all so good and they all want to play and I don't blame them. So, that could possibly be in our future as well.
I love that. I love to hear that. I love to hear that for any team or program where you have options, because I think Texas has been deep at certain positions, but not so much for a long time now. But as far as the quarterback room, I know Arch, true freshman, he's probably going to redshirt. You've got our, Malik Murphy, I thought looked good on the shot, what I saw. And then, of course, Quinn, new look. He looks like he's leaner. And he was asked because they're taking more, and you saw it, and we'll let you talk about it here shortly. But Quinn, he commented on them the focus was on taking more deep shots because that was a problem last year. They didn't go deep enough, and there were interceptions.
Yeah, I think we really took time and worked on the deep balls and got the timing down and, the depth and the angles of all the routes. And, I'm really excited where we're at right now. Xavier had a great catch on the sideline early in the scrimmage. And we're just going to build up from here on out, and I'm excited.
A man of not many words, but he's apparently the team loves Quinn. I've got to ask, Malik, that deep shot to Jonte Cook. From ground level video, that looked phenomenal. The timing, everything. I mean, was there another one, or was it that one that just kind of you had a?
I mean, yeah, I feel like what Quinn said is that there were multiple deep shots. That mean obviously one of the big ones, but I always feel like when Texas takes those deep shots successfully is when Texas is really, really good. I mean, that's kind of one thing I feel like, some schools are known for running the ball. And we have a running game too, but I feel like, those long, deep passes to your wide receiver, like Worthy or something like that is when we were, dominating the game, like say against Alabama last year, things like that. I mean, it's like, I think you have to be able to make those plays that, you can score in one down. So, I mean, it's like, and so the whole thing gets sped up. And the next thing we have all these points racked up on the scoreboard and we win. So, I mean, I feel like, I'm glad that that's something they're going for because, I mean, I feel like that's something that when we're good at, we win.
Yeah. So when you look at what the defense, I mean, it's hard. The two teams, I mean, I love the format that they had for this spring game where they divided up the teams equally. It's not always like that. They try different. It's basically all a spring game is at most schools. It's just entertainment. It's not, we're not going to take this too seriously. But when you taking that in consideration, you being the devoted Longhorn fan that you are, and what has been added, there's been some transfers, early signees. Go down the list: offense, defense, overall. What's your intuition is tell you? What would you give this spring game on the report card?
John, always with the hard questions.
I'll say.
I'm going to go like a B+.
That's what I was going with.
What?
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's still obviously you're not seeing people at full throttle because
Right.
they're not going to be. I didn't see anything that was like, oh Jesus, we're gonna suck, to high heaven next
Balls.
year. But I also was like, there's some really great talent. It's just like we've got to like put it all together in the right thing. And I just want to see a real game. It's so hard to watch these types of things, but there is so many options at every position. So I just hope it all comes together. But the potential's there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm going with 9-3 this year. You got the best
Are we doing
left
that?
tackle.
We're doing that?
Yeah, well, no, you don't have to, but I'm just going to say they're 9-3. They got the best left tackle in the game, but the ceiling's higher. I think. I say 9-3 is probably be a good fit for them. So I hope you saw this. I've been a really big fan of this podcast called The Pivot. It's recently retired NFL stars like Channing Crowder. They are absolutely hilarious, but they went to either Sark's office or Sark's home, and L'Oreal, his wife, was there. But it was funny to talk about his story of redemption. It wasn't funny about the story about redemption, but it was comical. They got serious about his story of redemption and his career. But they asked him about the interracial marriage, and I loved what Sark said. I don't know if have you seen this?
I have not.
This is just a small part. Allergies, Austin, Texas, in the month of April, beautiful. But this
Amen.
is Sark. Amen. You know all about it. Sark talking about that the interracial marriage, and I love how he ended it, and that's where we'll pick it back up.
We're gonna be totally honest. It's usually
That's real talk.
It's usually a black man with a white woman. So this is a different perspective, and this is a different thing than I've ever seen.
Well, might have outkicked my coverage a little bit.
You did.
Yeah, so let's start with that.
Out the ball. So he pointed to a piss out of it.
Yeah, we are.
What got into Johnson?
The Gunners better show up, right? But in the end, we say it all the time. Like, we're here for a reason. Like, God put us here for a reason at the University of Texas for something bigger than just winning football games. And I think that in the end, the impact that we have not only on our team, on the university, on our community is a positive one. I think we live life the right way. We love one another, and in the end, I don't think we don't look at each other that way.
How about that? That's just a
If it
small
was only that easy for everybody.
Yeah. And
What a great perspective.
I love it. And those guys are comical. And what Sark said is there's a guy, an older gentleman I'm trying to get on the podcast, retired coach in the SEC. He wrote a book and an audio book. It's called The Huddle. And what Sark referred to that as if America would take on the same persona as a huddle in football, our country would be in a better place. Or a locker room, huddle, different colors, races, religions. We don't care. We're out here to achieve the same mission. We're brothers.
I love it.
Brothers, sisters, if you want to go broader. I love it. They're a good-looking couple, by the way.
They are. I love how he said he outkicked his coverage.
He definitely did that.
And then some.
Hey,
Yes.
Ted, have you ever – okay, so UT baseball, they're leading the Big 12. They had a rough weekend in Waco, but still took 2 out of 3. But I've not seen this before, but Eric Kennedy slapped one Baylor pitch over the wall and then some.
Drives that one into right field. Puts a charge in it, gone.
Now you talk about a no-doubter from the bat of Eric Kennedy. That ball is in the Brazos River.
That one went out to Mount Carmel.
In the Brazos River. It literally went into the river.
Oh, it really did go through.
Yeah.
Be a penalty.
That was God. If Texas can get their bullpen together, I think they're going to run to the Big 12 championship.
I'd love to see that. They had a good run last year.
They had a good run and lost a lot of guys.
So to come back, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
David Pierce is on the route to be coach of the year in the Big 12 because of this. Hey, you sent this, and I absolutely I lost it, laughed out loud, and literally water ended up on my khakis. Trim the hedges. Real nice, Clark. Real nice. This would be a good
Well,
segue.
I mean, we know this is true.
Oh, yeah. What is that hiding?
Why men manscape, right?
Yeah, manscaped.com is here for you.
That's right. That's right. So, you got to make the most of what you have. So you got to pull the bush back, let the tree out.
Let it grow.
And, so why would you not?
You always want your giraffe neck to look longer.
Yes. Longer and thicker. Look at the one on the right. Look how thick it is.
It's a thick neck.
I think it's about length and girth, Sean.
100%.
The combo of both, which makes the entire giraffe package.
Everybody wants a good, healthy giraffe package.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. This was awesome. This is compliments of Tessa's random findings, or she's mining Instagram and found this.
That's what I do when I'm being productive.
Yeah, it is. She gets about 8 minutes of free time per week.
That's right. I just
look
for jokes about dicks and pubes.
No,
so
everybody, hey, you've got to tame the German Black Forest.
That's right.
That's all I got to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Let's take a quick break. How about that? Hey, on the other side of this break, we always set the humor off. We've got one of our favorite NBA stars just totally went off on a fan in the fan area. That's coming up on the other side of this break. Trust and honesty. Those are the only two qualities we seek in a company when we have to spend our hard-earned money for service, air conditioning and plumbing service especially. I'm Sean Clinch, the host of Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast, and the fine American gentlemen at Honest AC and Plumbing, well, they fit that mold. It's in their name. Veteran-owned, and they are truly locally owned. Give the team at Honest a call on the number on your screen. Honest AC and Plumbing, where a handshake still means something.
Take it like a man. Watch your mouth, motherfucker. Watch your mouth. Let it go. Say it like that. Watch your mouth. Guys, the man. Westbrook. Talk about it. Be about it. Westbrook. Woo!
Russell Westbrook. Man, the biggest hustler, meaning hustles on the offensive and defensive side. He's not as consistent as he used to be, but offense. But he is the reason why the Clippers won that playoff game the other night. He's been known to allow fans to get under his skin a little bit sometimes. It's just not the time. But that was I want to say that was a season ticket holder area. Under the stands. Apparently that guy was running his jaws to Russell and crossing the line. I just wanted to ask you, do you think there's a line just because a fan can pay to be in a game or on a court that they can be entitled to say whatever they want?
No. I mean, I don't think just because you hold a ticket, it gives you a right to be a total jackass.
Right.
But, because, the heckling, I know it's going to always happen in sports to a certain extent, but at one point, I mean, you have to be respectful. And like, it just makes me think back of like Malice in the Palace,
Yeah.
where it was taken to the utmost extreme. It caused a riot, but really was, caused by fans. And then, of course, the players responding. But I mean, there should be a certain way that you should have to behave if you're an adult person
I agree.
at an athlete, an athletic event. And I think, well, and I think the same goes for the athletes as well. But I mean, I think that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the fun of the game, is that you spend the whole game just talking shit to people.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with shit talking as a fan per se. It's when you get a little personal.
Right. Start talking about people's mothers, their wives, stuff like that.
Russell's been the victim of, I'm not saying, there are other players would disagree with me. A lot of people know that Russell's going to get triggered, will be triggered somewhat easily if you talk about his family. And he's done that. But I don't know. I didn't have a problem with that. But nowadays, with the phones, cell phone video, it's without, people are quick to judge. And it's not a good look. But I had no problem with Russell doing that. Thought it was pretty ridiculous. That guy said, "Talk about it, be about it, Russell. Come on, Westbrook. Talk about it, be about it."
Yeah, I don't think Russell did anything wrong. And I mean, how could you can only take so much at a certain point. You're just like, come on.
Have a good time. So that's a conflict. We go to another conflict close to home, up the road in Cedar Park at a Texas Stars hockey game. Video shot by a fraternity brother of mine. We see hockey. The Texas Stars are the AAA for the Dallas Stars. I have never seen this before. Two goalies making their way from each goal to drop their gloves and get into it. This is absolutely stunning and hilarious.
Woo! They just went for it, didn't they?
From other opposite ends of the ice. I think that is a selling point, a marketing play right there. That will create, and they're having a great season. They could win. What do they call it? In that league, the Calder Cup.
I
think that they may be the best team in that league right now, the Texas Stars.
They just like triple axled towards each other and then just bit the crap out of each other.
They did. I loved it. Would you go now? Having seen that, if that was guaranteed every night, would you go more Texas Star games?
That would mean that I like to see violence, Sean.
Good point.
No, I mean, I would love to go to a Texas Stars game. I mean, I like hockey games. I've not been to that many at all. So just obviously growing up in Austin, I just haven't really, even when I lived in New York, I never went to any games. But I mean, like, yeah, I would love to go to hockey games. I mean, they seem fun as hell. And yeah, I mean, I probably would have been like watching that going, holy guacamole, what is this guy doing? This other guy. I hope they're both okay.
The beer is colder at hockey games.
Right. I hear that. Sit on the ice.
My first hockey experience, my first TV job out of college, I was in San Angelo. They had a minor league franchise called the Outlaws. If they had a game on a Friday or Saturday night, 7,500 drunk West Texans, all loud and obnoxious. There were fights, and a member of that outlaw team would eventually become my boss in a different career field.
Oh, that's too funny.
And he was one.
Well, I used to go to all the Ice Bats games. Did you ever go to the Ice Bats games?
Two, because that was when I was out of town forever. But they were pretty fun, you know.
They were pretty fun. They were playing the Louisiana Mudbugs, I think it was called.
Oh, Shreveport,
Shreveport Mudbugs. And what they did, this was a long time ago. I don't think they could get away with this shit anymore. But they during halftime, they threw a whole pot of crawfish out on the
Yeah.
ice, and then they had fans trying to get them in the net. That was like
promotion.
the halftime show. That's the stuff that we did. That was a long time ago.
That's real nice. That's real.
It was real nice crawfish, Clark.
In the NHL, there's a team. I can't remember. I don't know the meaning, but somebody will throw a dead squid out on the ice.
Oh, I feel like I've heard of this before.
Yeah,
Like one of the squids we used to dissect in biology.
yeah, very similar.
Formaldehyde. Ugh.
Yeah, it's not a nice aroma.
Yeah.
Have you ever just had a conversation where you try to shut them up, but they just keep going on? This is kind of what
every day
happens.
of your life.
Yeah, you're just like, they're not listening. They're just continue to go on. This is a cat and a bird. I feel like that was the situation right here.
I
that a
know
good-
that made you crack up. I can see you now, like watching that. Orange Kitty was not having it.
I mean, do you feel like they were this close? It was about to be violence on another level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's about to be
going to pounce that, but I doubt that bird would have.
poultry dinner.
Yeah, it would have been cannibalized. Well, that's not true. Not eating their own, but you know what I mean.
Eating a bird.
Yeah,
A grackle. What was that?
it looked like a
Crow? You said it was crow. Crows are big.
And they are pretty big.
Yeah, they're like a baby eagle.
Yeah, they're not small. That's
That
kind
was
of a good
like
segment.
I'm thinking of a raven.
A raven. I think that was a raven. Had a very deep
Let me
voice.
get out my bird book and I'll look it up.
Get your aviary book, whatever you want to call it.
Look up my birds.
You know, you can always get a good TikTok video when a dog is a humper. Dogs in heat. Apparently, these girls that I don't know who they are or where they are, but they obviously known this was the season for humping.
He went in both ends.
Doggy style.
Both ends.
Both
Did you
ends.
see? He went back door, front door, back door, front door.
I felt like we saw just softcore porn just now.
I feel dirty.
I feel dirty. I need a shower.
I need another
Sponge.
shower.
I need a sponge.
You might
bath.
need to douche, Sean.
Me? Little summer's eve goes a long way.
Hey, man, tell me something good.
From spring football to humping dogs and summer's eve, you feel fresh. Tell me
All the
something
things.
good. All the things. Tell me something good, Tess Sawyer.
Well, I think I'm just gonna channel back to how we started this episode, and that something good was just being back in DKR and
Wow.
seeing the fans and getting a little taste of my favorite time of the year, which is still a little ways away. But it just gives you like that one little nugget to get you through. So it was just really nice to be back in there, see a lot of people I haven't seen, and watch a little football, even though it was a scrimmage. So
Yeah.
it was a great time. I can't wait for football season. Until then, I'll have to go see some baseball, which that's also something good. I'm looking forward to going to some more baseball games with this nice spring weather.
It's beautiful. I think, honestly, I'm not being biased, but I'm going to give a shout out to Cameron Rupp, former Longhorn, who's on David Pierce's staff at Texas, Rodriguez, Coach Pierce, everybody. They are on track to be the best staff in the Big 12 this year for what they've done with this team. Because if they figure out and shore up their weekend pitching, they're going to end up hosting a regional. And before this year started, I would have thought that would never be the case. But I did say, and I talked about it, I said we won't know what this team is until late April.
Right, because we
And we're
went to
getting
like
close.
one of the very first games.
Yeah, and I just said that's the way baseball is, but they're in the midst of there's developing a staff, and that's the fun part of baseball. That's why it's kind of a long season. It takes a while for people to develop, especially it's just beautiful. It's
Right
a beautiful
now,
thing.
it's just gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. It
No,
really
I'm
is.
excited. I'm excited for that. Like, yeah, baseball games are fun. I mean, can it be, anything more American than a afternoon baseball game? So
And the games
kind
are
of great.
faster now.
That's right.
You got a pitch clock.
That's right.
You see that Major League Baseball games are now collectively 30 minutes faster because of it.
The pitches are faster. This is good because they were kind of long.
Yeah, I'll tell you something good. I thought so. I was able, if you go onto our platform, Stories Inside the Man Cave, was able to knock out 2 feature stories recently, and I usually only do those every other month. Did one on Angelo State baseball in San Angelo, amazing. But the thing and that was a great story and all, and thanks to Adam Foster and all them in San Angelo. But Jackie Robinson Day and what Houston Tillotson did. They wore all, like MLB does, wore all 42 jerseys. And it's Huston Tillotson. It's this, my entire life, we've been doing it wrong. Historically black college. Jackie Robinson worked at Houston Tillotson.
Wow.
Oh, I did it again. Huston Tillotson. There we go. Jackie Robinson.
Every time you do that, you're going to owe me a nickel.
I will owe you a beverage.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, screw the nickel.
Yeah, screw the nickel.
Give me a drink.
Jackie, the legend Robinson, lived here and worked here in Austin.
That's so cool.
That's amazing.
I did not know that. You learn something every day.
Did not know it. And then you can check that story out. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, however you may. Stories Inside the Man Cave. That's after you watch Tuesdays with Tess, of course, because if you're watching right now, you've seen the entirety. So, for the pride of Shreveport, Louisiana, that being the large Stevie Lee. That's a mountain of a guy right there. And the OG Man Cave boys, that being Hardball Harbs, Big Mike, and Coach Mo. What do we say, Tess?
We out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.